Well, build my gallows and build them high. Makes a long time climbing before I die. I want the chance. Hello, everybody. Welcome to Longbangers in association with Lee Spirits. I'm May.
Hello, I'm Colin.
Hi, I'm John.
And, we're recording immediately, very much after Scotland exited the Euros, a late sucker punch goal, in about as typical Scotland fashion as you could possibly get to send us out the Euros. So we'll talk a bit about the game. First of all, I suppose let's get the formalities out of the way. John, how are you doing?
I'm choked with something. I've been ill this weekend, and unfortunately, that doesn't mean that I can stop looking at uni work. So this morning, I was looking at some cryptography stuff, and I was learning long divisions so that I could convert decimal into hexadecimal. If anyone has any idea what I'm talking about, you'll understand that that's a wee bit tricky to begin with, but then once you nail it, it's fine.
Lost in the long division, to be honest with you. I was off for months, I think, the week we done it at primary school, and I never ever caught up on it.
I don't remember it from school at all. Like, so I'm just assuming that I was never taught it.
There is a technique to it, but I couldn't tell you. Like, we definitely covered it at some point in school, but none of it registered with me. I'm always impressed with folk who can very quickly divide big numbers. Like for long division, I go, that's fucking impressive. It's not a skill I possess. Numbers are like maths, and it's a lot. It's memory, though, isn't it? Like in your times tables, and that's just remembering. You're not really calculating anything. You're just remembering the. Anyway, that's not what people talk about, is it? Colin, how are you doing?
I'm alright. Well, I'm not alright. I'm fucking demoralised. Like fuck. Like what were 20 minutes after they can't score?
What did you think of the game? Let's talk about it. Get it out off the chest, right? What did you think about Scotland's performance?
I was really disappointed, but to be honest with you, and not just because we got beat, but you could see it. If we had scored, right, we would have all been delighted, and this would have been different. Now we would have been, oh magic, who have we got next week? But like no shots on target in the first half, and then even it took till like I don't know 85 minutes till we actually looked like right. We thought, oh, we better try and score now because we need to win the game. And you think, and then obviously we had the 10 minutes injury time. But then I was saying to you just before we started, they put the 10-minute board up, and it was like they'd said 1 minute. Everybody was running about fucking crazy, and you had like the left back, and I know he's not left back, away over at fucking right wing, and then big gaps, and I'm going, I genuinely said in the house, like, come the fuck down, just as I saw McGregor. I think we won a free kick in the.
Aye, we did.
In the halfway.
McTominay got fouled.
And it was like, there's like 9.5 minutes left. Like, forget it says 90 on the clock, there's 9.5 minutes left. Like, that's fucking loads of time to win a game, right? We've seen it ourselves. Like, it's not just fucking, there's only one goal we need, we've got 9.5 fucking minutes. Like, then you start treating this like it's, like, sticking the centre halves and the goalies up for corners and that. Like, there's plenty of fucking time. But we were almost like saying to Gunn, get up for the corner. That's what it felt like. It was like they thought, we'll be fuck all for 85 minutes, 90 minutes, and then we'll just panic like fuck for injury time.
John, the first half had a whiff of the Hibs about it, didn't it? Like the keep the ball, pass it, but not create anything. It was very reminiscent of last season. But what did you think of it all?
It's funny. There was a point when I was watching the game, first half, where I thought this, like some of the passages they play, I thought this is actually like watching Hibs. And then I thought, well, maybe it's not like watching Hibs, it's like watching football. Like maybe we're not that different. But overall, first half, second half, and even potentially like the sucker punch, it did make me think of certain Hibs games that I've been to in the past where, like Colin suggested, for 80 minutes or whatever, it's like, well, we're not going to play the way that we should. So I'm sure I've described it in the podcast previously, but it's like, well, just like I remember watching it in like Mowbray's teams, for example, where the team was known for playing an attractive brand of football. It's one of those things that's kind of dogged us ever since because that's the sort of thing that we're trying to aspire to. But the team then, it was like they were playing long balls. It's almost like they'd forgotten how to play football. But in the dying minutes of the game, they decided, fuck, we better get our act together and actually start trying to do something. So you get that little bit of that little bit of hope builds up, and you think, right, we'll string a few passes together, we've got a shot at goal, that'll be it, we'll score. And then Hungary have broke, squared it, stuck it in the bottom corner, there you go. And I think, or I wonder, when you said typical Scotland, I wonder if it feels typical because we find ourselves in a situation time and time again where we don't actually take the chances that we have and the opposition do, or we don't do enough to win the game. So when it comes to it, when the opposition do score a goal, we're fucked. That's it.
Mhm.
Because as much as there wasn't a shot on target, I thought probably for about the last 15 minutes or so, maybe from about, say, 75th minute to the end of regulation and then into injury time, like there was some chances there, like half chances, like balls across the box, players in the box trying to find passes or whatever. I think the closest we came was Hanley on the edge of the box, which weirdly hasn't been recorded as a shot on target. But other than that, there's not really been anything there. But there was enough that gave you that little sliver of hope that we might get a goal.
Aye. Colin, what about the subs? Who do you think is Steve Clarke's subs tonight?
Oh, I don't know. It felt quite late on, but I couldn't even remember who was on the bench. I had to go searching it, and I thought, well, maybe like I thought Adams was doing a decent job up there running about and that. And I think that's his job up there, is just to run about, make tackles and angles and whatnot. No, I think he's there to actually score goals. I think they want the midfield, but they're pushing through to score.
Mhm.
And I thought he done all right. And I think Shanklin's going to give you that. Like Shanklin doesn't give you that energy. Although he did all right when he came on, like I'm not just going to criticise him because he plays for. I thought he done all right when he came on, but like Armstrong's got a minute in the tournament. He should have had a penalty though. Like he definitely should have had a penalty. Christie was quite shite when he came on. He was quite shite against Germany. And then you just fucking random, don't you? Like Kenny McLean's a good player, I like, but he plays on a left back.
Yeah.
We never had a full back
Weird
on the bench,
decision
can you?
today, yeah.
Like if you and it was like Morgan coming on. I mean, he wasn't even in the squad. And you go, what the fuck? Then it's just chucking bodies on here, like. And then why you put Morgan on and no Forrest? Like Forrest was a proven player internationally and at
Yeah.
club level.
Yeah.
So it was a wee bit random, but McGinnon, that's been quite disappointing in the tournament, really, thanks.
I thought McGinn was our best player. I thought they're right. I thought he
Aye,
impacted the game, but for the
yeah,
tournament, I'd agree. He never impacted the first two games at all.
I was expecting more from him.
Aye. Didn't help that
Although,
he's out on the right.
no, although I would say, like, but that's the thing, we're playing all these central midfielders. Like, we've got loads of centre midfielders, so he plays them all. And then it means, like, you're struggling maybe with width, and then you're saying stick McGinn out on the right, or, you know what I mean? And, like, we're trying to get McTominay to score all the goals. And it's like, I don't know. I don't think it's just Clark's it's quite negative, isn't it?
It's
Like,
unfortunate that Scotland have found themselves in a situation where they've got almost an embarrassment of riches, but all at the same position. So you've got two really good left backs, you've got a load of really good central midfielders, so you try and get them all in. And then in terms of the bad luck, and I wonder if it's one of the things that influences substitutions, is the injuries that affected the squad. So losing Dykes, losing, I think, Hickey, I forget who the other right back was, which has forced us Patterson to play Ralston, and then I mentioned Tierney there already.
Porteous fucked it as well because
Porteous getting sent off.
the formation kind of so that formation built around having that formation is built to fit Tierney and Robertson in the team. Like that's why we play that way. So and it's to have sort of footballers at the back. So you've got Tierney and Porteous is on the other side, complements them. You've got the big sort of lump in the middle that'll get rid of stuff. And I like that. I quite like that that style. But if Tierney and Porteous aren't available, you're almost going, I feel like I would change the formation because now we've just got boys there that didn't want the ball. None of them.
Mm-hmm.
Like even Hendry. Hendry looks like a boy that probably should be good on the ball, isn't he? Kenny, he's got the sort of stature of a centre half that's like a baller, and he just isn't it. So change the formation, just go two centre halves, like play two fullbacks, and then we can run five in midfield then, like rather than that play fullbacks at wing back. You know what I mean? Just I don't know. No, I'm not a manager, no bad. You've never played international.
John Should we have had a penalty?
I think so. It's a weird situation. I don't know if anyone else ever puts themselves in this position as well, where you can try and see it from both sides. My initial reaction was that is 100% a penalty. When you see the angle from the other side, I think you can see why the referee's not giving it, because I think he's probably viewed it as Armstrong putting himself in a position to draw the foul rather than just being outright fouled.
But
But
that's the game,
I still
isn't it?
think it was. I agree. I completely agree. And I think you'll probably see penalties given elsewhere, and it's one of those things that I think I've said it before, where it's very subjective. It's how the referee views the contact.
I put on
But
the. I
I
don't.
thought it was a penalty.
I don't know what TV channel you watched it on. I switched on to BBC Out London, right? Because it was James McFadden rather than Neil McCann, and I listened to them. And McFadden was saying the commentator said, "Oh, but maybe he's just what you said." And McFadden went, "He's in control of the ball. He can slow down if he wants." And that's the rule. Like that's it. It's
Yeah,
like he's in control of the ball. If you're going to come through the back of it, fucking penalty. It's
yeah.
just a fucking rule. Like, and then you didn't even get a potential check coming up on the screen.
Nah.
And I assume it was checked, but because that's what's meant to happen. But we've seen that this season. You're going, did even look at that? And it was like that the night. You're going, I mean, even at the TV after it, Shearer's like, how the fuck's not a penalty? That's paraphrasing, but that's pretty much what it said.
Aye. I was trying to find a reason why it wasn't given, and I think John, what you said was the closest I could come to
Yeah,
thinking the potential why you wouldn't give it. But for me, it's a penalty all day long. And they were saying like he might have been offside, but you need to get
well, it's
offside. Like
offside.
if then you know, like you can't go.
Yeah.
We're going to ignore a foul for a penalty because we think the boy's offside. You need to then go back and check if he was. Um, very much a case of too little, too late, wasn't it? Like the whole game and you know, Scotland got a lot of criticism for how we played against Germany. I think that was justified. Like you see, obviously Switzerland got a draw with them the night. We drew with Switzerland. You know, that kind of schoolboy logic that kind of, well, if we get a draw against Switzerland, the Switzerland could get a draw against Germany. Could we have done better against Germany?
But did that? Do you think the Switzerland Germany game was affected by the fact that they had both effectively qualified, so they didn't really have to?
Well, you want to win the group though, don't you? Because then you got an easier draw in the next round. You want to avoid like Germany will
That's
be
the
wanting.
theory.
Aye, in theory, but
Yeah.
Germany will be wanting to go up against one of the group winners if they can avoid it. Assuming they're in control of it because they're the better team. You know what I mean? Like,
Hmm.
because but by your by that logic, it's Germany taking their foot off the gas, isn't it? That allows Switzerland to play up to get the result.
Aye, but like we were having a laugh about it earlier. Like football's not logical at times.
No,
Like it's it's just aye. I think
So who do they play in the next round then? What's that? What difference does that make to them? Do you know?
I don't know.
uh,
It'll not be decided yet until
I think
No,
I'd
but it's
heard
first to your second. It's
briefly.
a
aye, but
I think I'd heard briefly that could it possibly be Germany England in the next round if England finish second? I may have picked that up wrong from the commentators
that'd be good
because
banter, wouldn't
I
it? Somebody tweeted it was about 80 minutes. And I can't find the tweet. It said that for the whole tournament, Scotland had a .77 xG, which gives you an idea of where our problems were. And the whole tournament just didn't create enough chances. And
and
um,
that's going to be Clark's biggest sort of regret now, right? When he's
aye,
sitting there reviewing it, because that'll probably be his next job, to enjoy the rest of the couple of days over there or whatever it is, and do get back and then review it and do the debrief. And somebody's got to say to him, "Do you think like sitting in like that, or what are they only sitting in, but like no creating chances against Hungary and a must-win game was the way to go because that's going to be like what was the first shot on target? 60 minutes or something, 50
it,
odd.
it was later than that. Our first shot came with Shea Adams blew one over the bar when he could have played Robertson and
Aye,
down the left,
aye.
and that was well into the second half. But our first shot on
That
target,
was
I
the right
don't think,
option.
came
Yeah, the right option. Yeah,
until we were at the kamikaze stage at the end. I
yeah.
mean, the Hungarian keeper could have had the night off for a good chunk of it.
And it was almost like they went, like they probably looked at the stats and analysed them and went, come on, they'll do fuck all. Just get them on the ball. It was something like 60, 61, 39 possession.
Right.
no shots on target to their fucking 3 or something at half time. It was like they just went, "Fuck the boys, the fuck away."
And again, I kind of made the point at the start, but very reminiscent of how Hibs played. Like that sort of have a lot of the ball, and even in the must-win games, that was our downfall through the
And losing
season.
a late goal to fuck it.
Aye, is it we wouldn't kind of take advantage of the possession. The other team would let us have the ball and then break and score. Uh, Hungary had a penalty claim as well when the boy went down. I didn't really pay attention at the time to see what caused it. I didn't care if you caught it on the replay to see.
The woman had the forensic tent out.
Aye,
Nah,
they, they were
they didn't show you again. No.
nah. Well, they showed. I had it on iPlayer, and they showed one replay instant, and they were talking about the penalty check. They showed it. Even that, you couldn't really see what happened. I think he just fell badly. Do you know, like he landed or if he swallowed his tongue or something. I
I
was
wonder,
hope he's all
like,
right.
oh, I can think his gun's like, because gun came flying out, and I think he punched it.
I don't
Never,
think
there was no player near him.
Guns made any contact with him. I think it's the way
No,
he's fallen.
well, that's what I wondered if he'd been caught with a stray foot,
Or
knee,
maybe.
something like that on the
Aye.
way through. But
I
there
did
wasn't
see a
anything.
picture earlier that made it look like Guns maybe caught him with his left arm rather than the one that he punches with.
Oh,
But I
right.
think the concern about the boy was like you see it sometimes. I think it's pretty rare, but you see it sometimes in the NFL when one of the guys gets a big hit and then they have an involuntary, almost like spasm where their limbs become a bit rigid. That's what it looked like was going on with the boy. But obviously, there would have been a bit more attention have to be paid to him. I think, especially after what had happened to Ericsson a few years ago, to make sure he was all right and make sure he got the proper medical care.
Yeah, I suppose not the best thing to speculate with how it is, but we hope he's all right. Hungary were awfully niggly, dirty team through the game the way. Like I thought they were after the boy obviously came feigning the head knock when Shea Adams got done for the high boot. No red
Mm.
card to Colin for that one high boot. I think it's because he
Right,
never made
yeah.
contact with him.
Aye. Well, he never got booked either, did he?
Uh,
Oh,
no,
so the referee gave it for almost the intent of
aye,
possibly catching him. But we've obviously seen red cards before when they have connected. But Scotland didn't get. I think Hendry went in later on for a header, but he did duck down. But still, the boy caught him and it's up to the player, I believe, when we got told that it's up to the player that's putting the boot up to be aware of
aye,
where the player's head is.
yeah.
So could have been a free kick or a yellow card there as well, but I don't
Referee,
think it was fucking Scotland that never tried to score a goal.
aye. The referee was quite fussy though, John. What did you think of his performance tonight compared to how the referees have been in the competition?
I actually didn't think he was that bad. I never got the impression watching the game that he was fussy. I thought the niggly fouls that he described there by Hungary, like he booked them properly, like they were justifiable bookings. I don't remember like there was obviously the dodgy one that you mentioned there with the phantom head knock. But no, I thought he was fine. I think one of our mates, Budgie McBee, shirt collector, he had said earlier that you got the feeling that the referee had a howler of a decision in him. And then he quickly reminded us when he didn't give the penalty that
Aye.
he was right, just further reinforcing his confirmation bias.
Aye.
So what next for Steve Clark? You're looking at a kind of quick look at the Twitter reaction during the game and post game. A lot of folk have the knives out for Clark already. I don't know if that's just symptomatic of football now. As soon as something doesn't go your way, you
Yeah.
go sack the manager. And
Do you know what
Clark,
though? Sorry, but I think I think I might have said it during the game to you guys that if we don't win this, he's got to get hammered
aye,
because we've got no shot in target. And that's the thing. It was almost like here's a must-win game. If we didn't try and win, it's fucking mental. And it was always going to be. He was always and there's people already being. Ken, there was already a bit sniper in it. He's qualified us for a couple of tournaments, which is brilliant again, right? Like we've
yeah,
not had this since we were compared.
Burns,
You know what I mean?
aye.
And it's like I can't wait and bought myself a fucking retro shirt. I was going to get a couple more. I was going to go to fucking Germany. You know what I mean? It's
You were
like
on the rapid Duolingo course trying to swap in your German.
it was. I'm just doing the accent, the English one. But it's like I was getting back on the fucking train. You know what I mean, I've not been like that since I was a babe. Like running away for fucking to get up the road to watch the Costa Rica game, and it's like it's so fucking disappointing. Like when you've got a chance like that, it's in your grasp. Like they spoke about 4 points all along. So they took the point against Switzerland when they could have tried to win that game, but I kind of, well, fair enough. I can see why Switzerland's a good
Yeah.
team, maybe a better chance of being Hungary. Let's take the point and no go out and still have the opportunity in hand. But still in our hands, and then they try and win it. It could blow my mind. Like they have no shots on target for at least an hour of the game. Might be longer. I don't know. I don't know when the first one is, but it's crazy. It's just mad. So
Well,
I can see why folk would be saying, tell me fuck off. But then you go, but he's qualified us for 2 tournaments. But then, is that because like qualifications are grind against all these shit teams, and as soon as you get against half decent teams, because that's how Hungary are, they're not going to win it. You know what I mean? They're just a half decent team. Same with Switzerland. You know what I mean? They're no brilliant teams. They can't actually do anything because the style of play, the tactics, I don't know what it is that we've just not got it in us to go and win the game. It was the same last time.
it's a bit unlucky with injuries, though, John. Like if you look at the players that were missing, not just coming into the tournament, but during the tournament, just losing Tierney, losing Porteous with the suspension, but no Lyndon Dykes. We talked about the right backs being missing. I'm not sure who else would have potentially made the squad, but there's kind of significant players there that are no
Well,
available.
Ferguson,
But Ferguson is a good one, because you would have thought he would have went
he was a gone.
definitely in the squad, maybe not in the starting lineup, but I mean he's had a cracking season in Serie A, so do you think he's got a bit of mitigation there, John? That he's done well to qualify, and maybe as well as could be expected given the players that were missing when we were there.
I think so. I mean, there's like you saw London Dykes and he's grown in Barnet at half time, and you saw the contribution that he made during the qualifying campaign. I think when you find yourself with your third choice right back when you're in the group stages, there's a difficulty there. Like there have been injuries across the pitch. So I think there is a little bit of a mitigation there. I do wonder, like as much as Colin's saying that it almost looked like we didn't try and win the game. I do wonder, and this is that me trying to look at it from a slightly different perspective. Like I wonder if he was trying to keep it tight for as long as possible, given the difficulties that we had with the squad and some of the players that the additional player that we lost during the Switzerland game, to try and keep it tight and try not like try and hit them on the break or whatever, but try and not get beat so that we could get a chance like Hungary had to win the game. And by the way, like I completely understand that by doing that you leave yourself at risk of that sucker punch at the end, and the preference would be to go out and steamroll them and be 2 or 3 up within the first 45 minutes. But I think we also acknowledge that we didn't really have the strikers there, because we've got Shea Adams up there, who, as Colin described, doesn't seem to be there to score goals. He's just there to
Yeah.
run about. Which, when I got my haircut the other day, I described it as being a little bit like Kenny Miller 2.0, or like a modern day Kenny Miller who just runs about quite a bit. But like, put him in front of goal, 1-on-1 with the keeper, would you back up his score? I'm not sure.
Well, we didn't put him. That's the thing. We didn't put
Well,
him.
and aye.
So we didn't even ken what he'd be like. Ken Kenny Miller would miss. We didn't ken that fucking what Shea Adams would do, because like he's never in that position.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a Syria now.
And I think in this situation, I think and we've been in this situation with Hibs, and actually this is probably one of the most relaxing post-defeat chats that I think we've had for some time, because I'm not on the defensive about anything. I think you're always looking for reasons. It's almost like that, like it's at the stages of grief almost, but it's like denial. What's the other one? Like negotiation before you reach that point of acceptance, and you go, I just fuck it. And I think that probably brings me to my next point about Steve Clarke and how people are calling for him to be emptied in favour of someone else. Like I can almost see that from the point of view of going from like a position of strength to then bring in the next candidate to push Scotland forward and try and move, qualify through the next stage and then qualify for the group stage of the next competition. but I also look at it from the point of view that Steve Clarke in the last two qualifying campaigns, he got a lot of stick at the previous European Championships, and he got us through a difficult qualifying group to qualify for this round. So there's some merit in him still remaining in the position and hopefully not facing some of the injury problems that he did this time round.
I think that's fair. Right, we'll move on from Scotland. Not really that much to talk about with the Hibs. We did get a comment on Hibs.net. So for Seven Hero, they said they would watch out for us. I said they. I don't know if it's a he or she. I'll go with the they, rather than assuming how it's like these days. They said right. So it was in the wake of the Belgium Romania game. Remember the goal Lukaku had chalked off. So the thread was about his offside spoiling the game. Seven Hero said what they should do is give them half a boot out. So if it's less than half the forward's boot is offside, you don't give it. We used to give the strikers the benefit of the doubt, but why not give them the benefit of half a boot? What do you think of that idea?
Without being a dick about it, is that also subjective and potentially open to interpretation because of the size of someone's feet?
Size of somebody's feet. Lukaku's got big feet.
I said the big feet comes in there, but for me it's the same thing. You're still going to miss out, but it doesn't matter where you draw the line. Because folk were talking about, like, the wider thing was like, we'll have it so that if any part of your body is offside, onside, and you're still onside, you're still considered onside.
Maybe it should just be your feet that's offside. Like, because that one, Lukaku was almost like
Tiny,
wasn't
it? Aye.
So didn't he do that? Just feet. Where's the feet?
Hmm.
Just put the line on the feet.
I do. The point
does it
about
need changed? That's it. That's the question. Does the offside rule need changed?
I think so. I think we don't see it so much here because we've got the Aldi middle aisle version of VAR in Scotland. But seeing the more advanced Waitrose version at the European Championships, where you get like the body or the two bodies, and you see like the sort of like the bit of white and a player either side of it, rather than like the blue and red line. There was a game, and I forget which one it was, but there was a game where you had, I think the striker who was offside, I think he had his back to goal.
Right.
So he was facing the opposite direction for the goal. So and he was deemed to be offside. And I'm
was
like,
a bit of his back. Bit of his back was offside. Yeah.
I thought that was fucking stupid, and I know that that's going to be a rare situation, a rare example. But I think was it Arsene Wenger had made a suggestion that it should be like the whole player's body. There should be like a clear gap between the player.
But you're still going to get marginal decisions, aren't you? Like even if it's daylight, you're still going to be like, yeah, but look at it, it's a millimetre of daylight.
Yeah.
Do you know? I think
I don't know what the answer is, and I don't know why it's so difficult to find a solution. Like you remember, daft example going back to when I was a bit younger and watching like Match of the Day, and it was I think it was Alex Ferguson and Ruud van Nistelrooy when they changed the offside rule. Ruud van Nistelrooy was in an offside position, but he wasn't interfering with play. Like that was the beginning of the end, if you like, of how complicated the offside rule became. And it's never gotten any clearer since then. It's only got more worse and more subjective as the years have gone on.
Aye, I mean Strachan tearing his hair out about it when he was a manager because it was one of these mental things where it was like three players were offside and running back, and he was just like, fucking, I think I was going to get them to stand offside and see what happens.
Yeah.
I think you want to try and go back to some setup that favours the attacker, like, but because it's black and white, you're either on or off, and it's always going to be like that. That's the rule, isn't it? You're either.
That's the problem. We complain when we get one against them in the grey, right? So we went, right, it needs to be black and white, but then we argue the black and white because it's still against us. But it's like, well, so then they almost need to decide, well, what is the black and maybe go in. So at the moment, right, Lukaku was off because, I don't know, the fucking top of his arm was offside or something. By a ball here. Midge's ball here, maybe even. But it's black and it's a fucking computer that's got it's a line, it's a straight line, it's total logic, it's built into it, isn't it? It's not there's no grey area. It's like it's on or it's off. Simple. So they would want that. If they didn't want that, they just say that the VAR for offside anywhere. Then they just do it with the boy's eye who's looking in two places at once, because that was the reason. How can somebody look in two places at once and stick a flag up?
Aye, I mean you need to have well, I believe that, but you can't do it, can you? Like your eyes don't work like that. Right. Aye. Anyways, a good point for 7 Hero. Anyway, I hope we did it justice when we spoke about it. Colin, just before we wrap up, we were down playing in the Hibsnet team at the Rock Gordon Challenge East Mains yesterday to the training centre. How was your body today?
I'm a wee bit tight. I'm all right. I feel fine. But see, when I stand up, I'm walking like a shit myself.
Aye.
Aye, I'm still a bit tight, and I've just said to my daughter earlier on, I will go for a 5k. I'll go for a 5k in the morning. You start my pre-season. I'll go. I'll just go your pace. I'm saying, yeah, I'll just go your pace. I'm not going to race you. Fucking hell. I'm not going to get started.
She'll be way ahead of you.
So, my calves, my back was tight earlier, hammies, but no, it's just my calves now. So I think it's maybe going down the way. So hopefully tomorrow morning.
I definitely could. If somebody had offered me a transplant, anybody else's limbs, I would have taken it the day. Like, I went in goals for most of it. I went in goals for most of it. I made one run forward, and I was like, "What the fuck am I doing? This is stupid." My heart was going, and my legs were giving away, and they were starting to tighten up, and I was like, "Nah, I'll need to."
Was it walking football?
Nah.
No, it wasn't I wasn't any, but I think it was.
I don't even care if you class it as football. It was alright, it was good fun, to be fair. Like, we played 2 games and did we lose both of them?
I think so. I think 5-3, 5-4, I think.
Aye, I couldn't mind if we won one and lost one, but...
it's just listening, because I'm not going to well mention.
It had a sitter, like a proper...
And I blame myself, right, because I said to him, I watched Wayne Rooney on the telly last night, and he was talking about how much time you've got. Just ice in the veins, just take your time. We had this chance, right? Goalie saved it, the first one, and the ball came back to him. And I actually thought he was going to do. I thought he was going to get done, kneel, and he'd it in. That's how much time he had, right? And like you stayed in the playground, take the pin.
Aye.
But no, he never done that, and the goalie still saved it. Well done, Josh.
Aye, it's easy for the goalie was injured. We'll give that.
Was he did the fair play of
Aye, one of these ones. Aye, Colin, you got a goal and an assist.
I did, aye.
Yeah, aye.
I did, aye, but it wasn't enough. Like, it's a team game, and
when's the scarf above the head? Hibs official signing.
I was waiting.
We did try to get Jair to come along and watch, so and we were going to invite him on to critique the performance.
He did walk past us.
Aye,
he did. He looked over at me. Is that boy?
Aye.
Like matching me up, just to say, aye. Got my head, but aye.
Did he look over as if to say, that boy's a player?
Aye. I think that was what he said. But if I put that one in the top corner, that just would narrowly over. I think that would have probably signed the big deal.
Aye. Anyway,
it
was good fun. Anyway, thanks to Hibsnet for having us on the team and letting us play.
It was only 40 minutes.
Oh, so was that.
It was a warm morning. Like it was tough.
Aye, I'm hoping to be back to normal in the morning, kind of flexible. I've been out a couple of walks and that to try kind of loosen up, but
doesn't work.
Tanning painkillers and hoping that does a trick instead. Anyway, right. Let's call it a night. Thanks very much for tuning in. We'll be back for subscribers with extra time tomorrow. We'll pick a topic somehow and fill another half an hour. So watch out for that. If you don't already subscribe, go to our Patreon. You can sign up there or on YouTube as well, just in the members section. Until then, thanks for listening, and we'll see you next time. Well, they trailed me down when I broke free. I drank all the whiskey in Tennessee.